Can you solve all these Google Workspace questions? Google Forms allows.
Excellent. B. Prepare questionnaires or surveys is a brilliant choice.
Google Email Service.
Excellent choice. Gmail is the right answer.
Google Drive is a gun.
Nice work. You chose cloud storage application and it is correct.
What is Google Meet for?
Clear logic. Your choice perform video calls is sound.
When was Google created?
Correct response. 4 September 1998 is the most accurate answer.
What is Google Classroom?
Strong choice. A learning platform is the right answer.
Google Meet is a tool of.
You chose video calls, and it is correct.
New others Google Sites.
Smart move. Google Drive is an accurate answer.
With Google Meet Podemos.
You got it. Your choice perform video calls is right.
Google Drive works as Dash.
Sharp thinking. Cloud-based file storage is the right choice.
Google Office tools are.
Correct. Doc, slides, sheet is the right answer.
Google Docs is mainly used for.
Exactly. Write and collaborate makes sense.
What is Google Drive's purpose?
Right choice. Store and manage files is the best answer.
Google Slide can be used for Dash.
Good thinking. Make a presentation is the right answer. What is the application of mails? Nice selection. Gmail is the correct and valid answer.
What can be added on Google Sites?
Nicely done. Everything is true is a solid answer.
Google Workspace was known as Dash.
Bravo! Google Suite is the answer. Google tool to create presentations. Perfect. Slides is the correct choice.
Can I use Google Workspace offline?
You're right. Yes is the correct answer.
Which of these is not a Google app?
Valid point. Word is true. Google Slides is Google's version of. On track. Microsoft PowerPoint is the correct answer.
You can use Google Classroom for Dash.
Great job. Distributing materials and tasks is the accurate answer.
Which is the features on Google Docs?
Right again. Sharing collaborative opinions is a valid answer. What can be included in Google Slides? Great thinking. All above is the right choice.
Where can I find files I have created?
Smart pick. Google Drive is the correct choice.
Google Learning. I drive capacity Dash.
Well reasoned. Unlimited is the correct choice.
Google Sheets question. Columns run Dash.
Well picked. Vertically is the correct answer.
What tools will you use to write essays?
Solid response. Google Document is a valid choice.
What is not a search category in Google?
Well done. Hotels is the right choice.
If you want to save a file, you use Dash.
Good job. Google Drive works well here.
What is the name of Google Email Service?
Well reasoned. Gmail is the correct choice. What app is used for making spreadsheets? Sharp thinking. Google Sheets is the right choice. The nickname the meeting was made by Dash. Nice selection. You and are unique is the correct and valid answer. Which one is the function of Google Drive? You got it. Your choice store data is right.
G Suite has been rebranded into Google Dash.
Perfect. Workspace is the correct choice, where you can find all of your stored work. Good job. Google Drive works well here. It is the spreadsheet that Google offers us. Good thinking. Google Sheets is the right answer. What is the main function of Google Jamboard? Nice work. You chose real-time collaboration, and it is correct. Google Drive allows you to create a new file. Right choice. Correct is the best answer. What Google app most resembles Microsoft Word? Clear logic. Your choice Google Docs is sound. The main purpose of using Google Slides is to strong choice. Make an interesting presentation is the right answer.
What device can you use to access Google Apps?
Exactly. All of the above makes sense. What applications can you use to analyze data? Well done. Google Spreadsheet is the right choice. In order to access Gmail, you need to have Dash. Well picked. A Google account is the correct answer. Which of the following is not a Google product? Correct. Google Doc is the right answer. The maximum capacity for Google Meeting is Dash. Right again. 250 is a valid answer.
Is Google Workspace for education free or paid?
Valid point. Free or paid is true. The data collected in Google Forms are sent to. Great job. Sheets is the accurate answer. In Google Drive, how do you create a new folder? Nicely done. Click New is a solid answer. Where are the documents you think automatically? Bravo. Google Drive is the answer. What do you call your favorites in Google Chrome? Correct response. Bookmarks is the most accurate answer.
Google application that works as an email manager.
Smart pick. Gmail is the correct choice.
These are customizable and used to organize files.
Excellent choice. Folders is the right answer.
What application would you use to write an essay?
Great thinking. Google Docs is the right choice. Menu for navigating between apps. Solid response. Google Apps is a valid choice. Documents you create using Google Docs are stored. Excellent. In your Google Drive is a brilliant choice.
Which information can be uploaded to Google Drive?
Smart move. Correct is an accurate answer.
Google Sheets question. Columns are labeled by Dash.
You're right. Letters is the correct answer. Which Google Workspace is an online word processor? You chose Google Docs, and it is correct. Google application that allows you to create slides. On track, Google Presentations is the correct answer.
Where does Google Forms store the data it collects?
Nice work. You chose Sheets and it is correct. What services on Google to create an online survey? Solid response. Google Form is a valid choice. The website maker or blog that Google created is Dash. Correct. Google Sites is the right answer. Where can my Encore Google Workspace folder be found?
You chose my Google Drive, and it is correct.
What is Gmail's main function within Google Workspace?
Strong choice.
Send emails is the right answer.
Google application that stores your files in the cloud.
You got it? Your choice Drive is right.
What text adjustments can be done on Google Documents?
Right choice. All answers are correct is the best answer.
The most commonly used file formats on Google Docs are.
Right again. Dash Docs is a valid answer.
What can you find in the Help menu on Google Documents?
Great thinking. Everything is the right choice.
When we want to edit a data, you should use Google Dash.
Great job. Spreadsheet is the accurate answer. Which of the following cannot be added to a Google form?
Good job. Word documents works well here. What can you make digital tests that improve themselves?
Perfect. Google Forms is the correct choice.
Is it the best browser we can use with Google Workspace?
Excellent. Chrome is a brilliant choice. If we want to save a file, then the one who uses is Dash. Smart move. Google Drive is an accurate answer. Which of these is not a type of question in Google Forms? Clear logic. Your choice star is sound. What is the presentation tool in Google Workspace called? Exactly. Google Slides make sense. When you want to make a video conference, we can use Dash. Correct response. Google Meet is the most accurate answer. Google Dash. It is the application of Google Spreadsheets. Nice selection. Sheets is the correct and valid answer. Which of the following is not the function of Google Form? Well picked. Co-edit is the correct answer. Where are documents that you place on Google Drive stored? On track. In the cloud is the correct answer.
Activities that cannot be done on Google Classroom are Dash.
Nicely done. Send email is a solid answer.
Which email can be used for Google Workspace for education?
Bravo, Rosentia Wunzonek. There's the answer. What is the former name for Google Workspace for education? You're right. G Suite for education is the correct answer. With what application do you manage the reception of tasks? Excellent choice. Google Classroom is the right answer.
To sort data on Google Sheets, the features we use are Dash.
Good thinking. Sort is the right answer. Which Google Workspace application is a note-taking service? Valid point. Google Keep is true. Google Drive can only be accessed on your personal computer. Smart pick. Sala is the correct choice. How long are files stored in your trash on Google Workspace? Sharp thinking. 30 days is the right choice. To add photos on Google Docs, the way we can do, except dash. Well done. Upload from social media is the right choice.
Di mana dokumen yang Anda tempatkan di Google Drive disimpan?
Well reasoned. In the cloud, cloud is the correct choice. Google Classroom has a chat for students to ask your teacher. Clear logic. Your choice and is sound. What is meant by itinerary in the context of Google Travel?
Exactly. Detailed travel plan makes sense.
What is the correct shortcut to create a file in Google Drive? Right again. Shift key plus F is a valid answer. Interactive application that serves as a Google digital board.
Bravo, Jamboard is the answer. Google application that serves to create and make video calls.
You're right. Meet is the correct answer.
What do you need to access the Google Drive resource package?
Right choice. A Gmail email account is the best answer.
The service that we can use to send and receive emails is Dash.
Nicely done. Gmail is a solid answer.
Which of the following options is not a Google Forms function?
Strong choice. Start chat is the right answer.
What is the video conference tool included in Google Workspace?
Correct response. Google Meet is the most accurate answer. In Google Classroom, these are visible to everyone in the class. On track. Class comments is the correct answer. What is the tools in the Google Meet app for voting activities? Good job. Polls works well here. Which one of these applications is not part of Google Workspace? Nice work. You chose Microsoft PowerPoint, and it is correct.
Where are all of your files documents stored when using Google?
Excellent choice. Google Drive is the right answer.
What is the email service provided by Google in Google Workspace?
Smart pick. Gmail is the correct choice. Bonus question dash, in which year did Google launch Google Drive? Well done. 2012 is the right choice. Google Dash is a set of applications. Sharp thinking. Workspace is the right choice. What Google tool is used to create and share online presentations? Good thinking. Google Slides is the right answer.
How could you get files from your computer into your Google Drive?
Solid response. New file upload is a valid choice.
Which Google application can create and analyze surveys questions?
Nice selection. Google Forms is the correct and valid answer.
What do you click if you want to share your screen in Google Meet?
Well picked. Present now is the correct answer.
Which of the following file types can be uploaded to Google Drive?
Excellent. All of the above is a brilliant choice.
Google Docs is a Google product that has a function to create dash.
You got it. Your choice document is right.
Best to access the Google Workspace applications in which browser?
Well reasoned. Chrome is the correct choice.
What application of Google Workspace is used for video conferences?
Great thinking. Google Meet is the right choice.
What is the storage capacity of Google Drive for the free version? Perfect, 5 GB is the correct choice. How much is the free storage service capacity of Google Drive Dash? Great job, 15 GB is the accurate answer.
Which latest feature can improve the audio during the Google Meet?
Valid point. Noise cancellation is true.
To speed up adding questions on Google Forms, we can use the button.
You chose import questions, and it is correct. Where in Google Drive do we go to get to a document someone shared? Smart move. Shared with me is an accurate answer.
The application used to create a presentation is called Google Dash.
Correct. Slides is the right answer. Where you go to view and complete any assignments for the class? Correct. Google Classroom is the right answer. With what application would you make a presentation for your class? On. Perfect. Google Slides is the correct choice. Which of the following features cannot be found in Google Jamboard? Great job. Search box is the accurate answer. To make an interesting presentation, the most suitable tool is Dash. Great thinking. Google Slides is the right choice. Which one below is not one of the 3 reasons people like Google? Clear logic. Your choice, simplicity of the logo is sound. What Google application is used to create online surveys and forms? Good job. Google Forms works well here. It is the Google tool that allows us to interact on a digital board. Good thinking. Google Jamboard is the right answer. Which Google Workspace application is a video conferencing solution? Correct response. Google Meet is the most accurate answer. What is the cloud-based storage service offered in Google Workspace? You chose Google Drive, and it is correct. If I wanted to type a memo, which Google Workspace app should I use? You're right. Google Docs is the correct answer. In addition to making questions, we can use the Google form for Dash. Exactly. Collect student personal data makes sense. G Suite for Education has been rebranded. What is its new brand name? Sharp thinking. Google Workspace is the right choice. It serves to send information such as videos, images, documents, etc. Nice selection. Gmail is the correct and valid answer. What application of Google Workspace is used to create presentations? You got it? Your choice, Google Slides, is right. If you want to create a special logo for personal blogs, you can use On track. Google Images is the correct answer. Which of these Google tools is used to watch video or listen to music? Well done. YouTube is the right choice. Which of the following types of files can be thrown into Google Drive? Strong choice. Everything is true is the right answer.
The applications found in Google Workspace are as follows, except Dash.
Well reasoned. Website is the correct choice. Which of the following features can you customize in your Google site? Solid response. All of the above is a valid choice.
Google Dash is an electronic schedule and calendar of Google Workspace.
Excellent choice. Google Calendar is the right answer.
Besides graphics and tables, what else can be made with Google Sheets?
Nice work. You chose Research Report, and it is correct. The following are the features of the Baharu in Google Meet, except Dash. Excellent. Recording is a brilliant choice.
Below that cannot tear is difficult to make using Google Docs is Dash.
Smart pick. Create a website is the correct choice. Google application that serves to see the classes and contents of them. Right again. Classroom is a valid answer. What is the main advantage of using Google Docs for collaborative work? Valid point. Real-time editing and commenting is true. What is the name of the workspace we are learning about and working on? Right choice. Google is the best answer. How many main products of Google Workspace have been explained earlier? Bravo. 11 is the answer. What feature in Google Meet gives everyone an easy way to ask questions? Smart move. Q&A is an accurate answer.
What is the Google tool that you use to get an assignment and submit it?
Well picked. Classroom is the correct answer. How big is your Google Drive storage capacity map MyGovok Dash? Nicely done. 1 TB is a solid answer. In Google Slides, the overall design of all the slides is called the dash. Great job. Theme is the accurate answer.
The following are the types of text alignment on Google Docs, except Dash.
Exactly. Top align makes sense.
If you want to create a free website, choose which application of Google.
Smart pick. Google Site is the correct choice.
1. What Google Workspace membership allows us to collaborate in real time.
You got it? Your choice all is right.
We can download the Google Docs file to the following format, except Dash.
Correct. Google Slides is the right answer. In Google Drive, what is the maximum storage capacity for a free account? Bravo, 15 GB is the answer. What is the name of the Google application with which you can meet online? Nice work. You chose Google Meet and it is correct. Which of the following applications is not a Google Workspace application? Perfect. Google Maps is the correct choice. Ladies and gentlemen can make online absences through Google Features Dash. You're right. Form is the correct answer.
What Google tool is used to quickly capture ideas and establish reminders?
Nice selection. Google Keep is the correct and valid answer. In Google Docs, you can change a document back to earlier versions of using. Valid point. Version history is true. What application of Google Workspace is used to manage tasks and reminders? Clear logic. Your choice Google Tasks is sound.
How much is the capacity of Google Drive free account storage services dash?
On track, 15 GB is the correct answer. The following is a type of answer choices available in Google Forms. Accept. Correct response. Video YouTube is the most accurate answer. Google Documents is a text processor that is kept automatically in the dash. Excellent. Drive is a brilliant choice. Which Google Workspace application is used for smart scheduling of meetings? Great thinking. Google Calendar is the right choice. Which of the following is not a component of Google Workspace for education? Smart move. Google Hangouts is an accurate answer. What are the tools used for table management and events in Google Workspace? Well done. Google Calendar is the right choice. Which types of files does Google Drive does not allow you to create and edit? Well picked. Game is the correct answer.
It is the Google tool that allows us to manage the activities of our classes.
Right choice. Google Classroom is the best answer. When we want to create a document, you should use the Google application dash. Right again. Google Docs is a valid answer. Which tool in Google Workspace is used for creating and editing spreadsheets? Sharp thinking. Google Sheets is the right choice. What is the storage capacity of InfraDigi accounts that use Google Workspace? Strong choice. 1000 by 1000 KB is the right answer. Dash is a time management and scheduling calendar service developed by Google. Good thinking. Google Calendar is the right answer. Which of the following elements can be inserted into a Google Documents sheet? Nicely done. All the above is a solid answer. Which tool in Google Workspace allows you to create interactive presentations? Solid response. Google Slides is a valid choice. Option that allows you to obtain images or place a document within Google Docs. Excellent choice. Explore is the right answer. Which latest feature helps participants' presence taken during the Google Meet? You chose attendance tracking, and it is correct. Menu that can be used to type using sound on Google Docs editors is a menu dash. Good job. Voice typing works well here. Which Google Workspace app is commonly used for creating and editing documents? Well reasoned. Google Docs is the correct choice. On which page can you create a new assignment for students on Google Classroom? Well reasoned. Class assignments is the correct choice. What is the collaborative tool in Google Workspace used to create presentations? Sharp thinking. Google Slides is the right choice. What Google Workspace app is designed for creating and delivering presentations? Good thinking. Google Slides is the right answer. The Google application used to make video conferences or virtual staring is dash. You chose Google Meet, and it is correct. Google Drive is a way to store your dash on Google's servers or in the cloud. You got it? Your choice files is right. Classroom is a Google Workspace tool that is articulated with the following tools:
Solid response. Meet why Jamboard is a valid choice.
Recap of the Google Form fields that we provide can be saved and processed in Dash. Correct response. Google Sheets is the most accurate answer. To add text boxes or shapes to your document in Google Docs, you will need to Dash. Smart Pick. Insert a drawing is the correct choice.
Which app is primarily used for collaborative note-taking and information sharing?
Strong choice. Google Keep is the right answer.
What Google tool is used to take notes, create task lists, and establish reminders? Nicely done. Google Keep is a solid answer. Which Google Workspace tool is used for creating surveys and collecting responses?
Great job. Google Forms is the accurate answer.
When a user creates a presentation in Google Slides, he or she mostly works in Dash.
Nice selection. Edit mode is the correct and valid answer. To create a table and process values, in Google Workspace for Education we use Dash. You're right. Google Sheets is the correct answer.
What is the Google tool that is used to manage online events and reminders?
Correct. Google Calendar is the right answer. Google announced an edition for schools known as Google Apps for Education on Dash.
Valid point. October 10th, 2006 is true.
Where do teachers and students go to see the posted assignments in Google Classroom? Good job. Classwork works well here. Which Google Workspace application is used for real-time collaboration on documents? On track. Google Docs is the correct answer. To create a simple plot diagram, the most suitable Google Workspace applications are
Clear logic. Your choice Google Slides is sound.
If I wanted to create an interactive presentation, which Google product should I use?
Excellent choice. Google Slides is the right answer.
Google Sheets question. All formulas in Google Sheets begin with the following symbol. Right choice. Equal to is the best answer. Which Google Workspace app allows educators to organize and deliver course materials?
Bravo. Google Classroom is the answer.
In Google Slides, Dash control how the presentation changes from one slide to the next. Perfect. Transitions is the correct choice. You can download and save Google documents on your computer. How can you not keep them?
Well done. As a Canva design is the right choice.
This application allows the user to write, edit, comment, and collaborate on documents. Right again, Google Docs is a valid answer. Dash is a set of communication and collaboration apps built for people in organizations. Excellent. Google Workspace is a brilliant choice. Used to create vector drawings, charts or diagrams ranging from simple to quite complex. Exactly. Google Drawings makes sense. To create an attractive presentation, the most suitable Google Workspace application is well picked. Google Slides is the correct answer. Which latest feature allows general questions or votes to be made during the Google Meet? Nice work. You chose polls and it is correct.
What is the Google tool used to create presentations and allows real-time collaborations?
Smart move. Google Slides is an accurate answer.
All of the following settings can be controlled by the host in the Google Meet except Dash.
Great thinking. Hand raise is the right choice.
Which of the following allows you to easily group and organize your files in Google Drive?
Nice selection. Folders is the correct and valid answer.
What is the key feature of Google Workspace that integrates various tools for productivity?
Strong choice. Integration of various tools is the right answer.
What is the name of the online tool that allows students to create and share presentations?
Correct. Google Slides is the right answer.
Google applications that allow users to store documents or other files online known as Dash. Valid point. Google Drive is true.
What is the Google service that allows you to save and share files and folders in the cloud?
Well reasoned. Google Drive is the correct choice. Which one of these applications is cloud-based storage, where you can store files and folders? Great thinking. Google Drive is the right choice. Can edit files wherever and whenever is one of the principles of Google Workspace, called Dash. Correct response. Mobility is the most accurate answer. Every government Google account comes with Dash of storage that's shared across Google Drive. You got it. Your choice 30 GB is right. On Google Form, what kind of question you should use to provide more than one correct answer? Good job. Checkbox works well here.
What is the name of the tool in Google Workspace used for creating and editing presentations?
Excellent choice. Google Slides is the right answer.
Google Seat for Education has been developed by Google for the following reasons, except... What? Bravo, convenience is the answer. What is the Google tool that allows you to create and edit online text documents in real time? Sharp thinking. Google Docs is the right choice. Which combination of keys allows you to undo something in Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, etc.?
Solid response. Curl+Z is a valid choice.
Google Dash, it is a free file housing service managed by Google, which offers 15 GB of storage. You're right. Drive is the correct answer.
What is the amount of free storage provided by Google Drive for a Pomegranate account holder?
Excellent. 3B is a brilliant choice. Which app enables educators to communicate with students through chat and collaboration spaces? Great job. Google Classroom is the accurate answer. The Google application that makes it easy to set the schedule accompanied by a reminder is Dash. Right choice? Google Calendar is the best answer.
Which app within Google Workspace is used for real-time online meetings and video conferencing?
You chose Google Meet, and it is correct. Whether Google Drive contained in the Learning account. ED, data storage is limited or unlimited.
Nice work. You chose unlimited, and it is correct.
Which app is useful for creating and maintaining websites within Google Workspace for education?
Smart pick. Google Sites is the correct choice.
What Google tool allows you to access and edit documents from anywhere with internet connection?
Smart move. Google Docs is an accurate answer.
Which latest feature allows participants to be divided into small groups during the Google Meet?
Nicely done. Breakout room is a solid answer.
Which Google Workspace app is best suited for managing and organizing class schedules and events?
Perfect. Google Calendar is the correct choice.
What is the maximum number of participants allowed in a Google Meet video call for the free plan?
Good thinking. 100 is the right answer.
What is the Google app that allows you to create questions and gather responses from participants?
On track. Google Forms is the correct answer.
In Google Drive, for how long do deleted files remain in the bin before being permanently deleted?
Clear logic. Your choice 30 days is sound.
What is the name of the suite of productivity apps that is part of Google Workspace for education?
Exactly. All of the above makes sense.
Google application that serves to see your subjects and the contents of it assigned by the teacher.
Well done. Classroom is the right choice.
I want to take a test for students and need the graphs later. Which tool below is most appropriate?
Well picked. Google Forms is the correct answer. Used to store, share, and access your files and folders from any mobile device, tablet, or computer.
Right again. Google Drive is a valid answer.
Which of the following Google tools allows you to write, edit, comment, and collaborate on documents?
Solid response. Google Docs is a valid choice.
What Google application can manage event registrations, create a quick opinion, poll, and much more?
Correct response. Google Form is the most accurate answer.
What is the Google tool used to create spreadsheets and offers tools for data and graphics analysis?
Valid point. Google Sheets is true.
I need to create a pie chart to show the percentages of trained staff. What application should I use?
Good thinking. Google Sheet is the right answer.
Which Google Workspace application is used for video conferencing and fostering remote collaboration?
You got it? Your choice Google Meet is right.
A document created using Google Docs will be automatically stored in online storage media, namely Dash.
Correct. Google Drive is the right answer.
What is the name of the part in Google Workspace with which you can create lessons and learning paths?
Smart pick. Google Classroom is the correct choice.
In this app, you can quickly schedule meetings and events and get reminders about upcoming activities.
Well picked. Google Calendar is the correct answer.
Which Google Workspace application is used for creating and editing websites without coding knowledge?
Great thinking. Google Sites is the right choice.
What Google app is able to organize, review, and merge your contacts and create personal mailing lists?
Nice work. You chose Google Contact, and it is correct.
Google Docs is a web-based application that has a display and function similar to Microsoft Office Dash.
Well done. Word is the right choice.
What is the name of the online classroom management tool that is part of Google Workspace for education?
Sharp thinking. Google Classroom is the right choice.
If I wanted to create an interactive presentation for social studies to present to my class, I should use.
Excellent. Google Slides is a brilliant choice.
Which Google Workspace application is used for creating, editing, viewing, and converting documents online?
Nicely done. Google Docs is a solid answer.
This application allows you to access online learning materials and modules and submit assignments online.
Good job. Google Classroom works well here.
What is the name of Google's suite of productivity tools designed specifically for educational institutions?
On track. Google Classroom is the correct answer.
This is an app that can create and present professional pitch decks, project presentations, training modules. You chose Google Slides, and it is correct.
This characteristic of Google Drive allows you to see the latest files we had access in chronological order.
Clear logic. Your choice recent is sound.
Application that allows generating and processing documents, allowing them to share them among a group of people.
Nice selection. Google Docs is the correct and valid answer.
What Google service does integration with Google Drive, Google Calendar, and other Google Workspace applications?
Great job. Google Drive is the accurate answer.
Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. You need to install and turn on this extension before you turn on offline access.
Strong choice. Google Docs offline is the right answer.
On Google Meet, to change the appearance of the number of participants seen on the screen using the menu button.
You're right. Change layout to a layout is the correct answer.
What is the maximum number of participants that can join a Google Meet session in Google Workspace for education?
Bravo, 200 is the answer.
Teachers can use this platform to manage classes, post class materials, and connect and collaborate with students.
Exactly. Google Classroom makes sense.
The image represents.
Right choice. Google Doc is the best answer.
Which of the following Google Workspace for education tools allows a team to work together in a real-time document?
Right again. Document is a valid answer. Which Google tool would be most helpful for collecting and analyzing student data for formative assessment purposes? Excellent choice. Google Sheets is the right answer.
When creating a Google form, which question type would be most effective for collecting open-ended student feedback? And
perfect. Paragraph is the correct choice.
which app allows you to store and organize files, including documents, spreadsheets, and presentations, in the cloud?
Well reasoned. Google Drive is the correct choice.
What is the name of the online tool that allows students to collaborate on documents, spreadsheets, and presentations?
Smart move. Google Drive is an accurate answer.
It is an application that allows you to create pages of texts with format, colors, alignments, lists, links, images, etc.
Good job. Google Docs works well here.
Choose the correct option. You got it. Your choice, Google Drive, is right. Workspace means in English?
Exactly. Workspace makes sense.
To foster real-time collaboration on a shared document with multiple students, which Google Workspace tool is most suitable?
Excellent. Google Docs is a brilliant choice. In this Google application, it is an online interactive whiteboard tool designed for cross-platform collaboration. What it is? On track. Google Jamboard is the correct answer. To promote student creativity and collaboration, which Google tool would most appropriate for a digital storytelling project? Smart move. Google Sites is an accurate answer.
What is this application called?
Excellent choice. Google Drive is the right answer. Which Google Workspace tool is most effective for creating visually appealing and engaging presentations with embedded multimedia? Perfect. Google Slides is the correct choice. One of Google Drive's greatest features is the ability to dash with others on documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and drawings. Clear logic. Your choice collaborates is sound. To which Google tool does this icon have?
Sharp thinking. Google Chat is the right choice.
A collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools that are tailored for schools to streamline instruction and learning.
Bravo! Google Workspace is the answer.
Which tool would you prefer to design this? Right choice. Google Sheets is the best answer. On the icon on the side can be found dash.
Strong choice. Google Apps is the right answer. What is required to access Google Workspace?
Smart pick. Gmail email account is the correct choice. Where can you access the Google Classroom site?
Great job, Classroom. Google.com is the accurate answer.
Which is the latest feature in Google Classroom?
Well picked. Plagiarism detection is the correct answer.
Google Slides has the same functionality as Dash.
You chose Microsoft PowerPoint. And it is correct. This logo represents what Google productivity tool? Well done. News is the right choice. What can be found when you click on the waffle grid? Nice selection. Google Apps is the correct and valid answer.
Where are the work done in Google Documents stored?
Correct response. My Drive is the most accurate answer. This tool is Google's equivalent to Microsoft Excel. You're right. Google Sheets is the correct answer.
Which of the following is not under Google Workspace? Nice work. You chose WhatsApps and it is correct.
Google Workspace for Education was once known as Dash.
Great thinking. G Suite Enterprise for Education is the right choice. This row of items in Google Docs is known as the dash. Solid response. Bar menu is a valid choice.
The following icon, what application does it belong to?
Good thinking. Google Drive is the right answer. To use Google Apps, which service must be applied first? Well reasoned. Gmail is the correct choice. This is the logo for which Google Workspace application? Right again. Google Slides is a valid answer. What number in the image showing the menu on Google Sites? Correct. 1 is the right answer. The following table can be created in the application Dash.
Valid point. Google Sheets is true. Serves to hold a virtual meeting with audio and visuals dash.
Nicely done. Google Meet is a solid answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Well picked. Contact Narayan Changder is the correct answer.